coach now, Jim Les. Jim, what's up, man?
Good morning, guys. How we doing? Fired up to spend some time with you and talk some hoop.
It's good to have you. Good to see you. I know you probably just got out of, watching tape, knowing you. You probably just got done watching tape. You're probably
getting
coming
my
over
edit
here.
ready for practice. How'd you know?
Because I know you well enough by now. I know you well enough. And, while a lot of other coaches, let's face it, a lot of other coaches, I'm not going to call you old, but a lot of the coaches who have as much experience as you do in this business are now saying, you know what, kind of had it, right? Like you watch the Jay Wrights and the Tony Bennett's and Bruce Pearl go out a couple weeks ago, and you see the changing landscape. What's the biggest reason, Jim, that you still have the same fire to do this as you did maybe 20, 25 years ago?
Well, one, I'm at a great place. The UC Davis and not just the basketball experience, but the college experience is unique. We're at a top 10 public institution. So the academics, which we never hear about anymore in sport, is still important here. And that's crucial. And just the young men that I get to be around on a daily basis and get to mentor is special to me. And I look back at all the people who were so influential in my life, mainly, the coaches and teammates that I played with and what that's done for me personally. I want to pay that forward. And we want to continue to have a program that has great culture and great young people with great character. We haven't gotten into the NIL realm until this year. And we didn't opt in. So it's made things a little bit challenging, but we're embracing those challenges and excited still about the quality of talent, the quality of young man, and the quality of experience that we provide here at UC Davis.
Coach Les, Jeff just said he wasn't going to call you old, but I went back and watched last year's preview show, and last year he called you old. So I guess you're getting younger as the days go. So he's just getting kinder, maybe. But
that's right.
Jeff alluded to it. Last year, I know the season didn't end the way you wanted it to. I've seen a lot of Jim Les teams over the years. Your teams usually shoot the ball really well. You rebound really well. Last year, you lost the last 7 games, and I know you guys were right there in the hunt till that last stretch. Do you feel like coming into this year that, there's been some corrections made, or do you feel like you guys are on the trajectory to get back to where you guys normally are?
Well, I think, our depth caught up to us, and we played a starting group and a top 6-7 group, just a ton of minutes. And in February, we had 9 conference wins. Pretty good. We were right in the hunt. We also had 15 wins overall. So we were on pace, to get to 12, 13, 14 conference wins and probably 20 plus. And this group hit a wall. And so part of that focus for us in the offseason was not only, building our talent level, but building our depth so we could play the style of play that we know requires a lot of energy and a lot of aggressiveness. That we can go deeper into our bench so we can have that sustainability to get through, the last, what is the most important, 4, 5, 6 weeks of the season.
Jim, I know you bring back some guys, and we'll get to them in a minute here, but I want to talk about a key addition that I know you brought in from Central Arkansas, guard Braden Fagemi, averaged about 11 points a game last year. How much will he impact this year, and how will he impact?
Well, I know there's a lot of schools out there that say point guard you. I'd put up our list of point guards over the years, starting with Corey Hawkins and T.J. Shorts and Darius Graham, and we've had some really good ones, and T.Y. was outstanding, and he's a Chicago guy, brought that Chicago toughness, and was the 6th leading scorer in the country, and Braden fits that mold of all those guys. He's a creator as a point guard. He's a pass-first point guard, yet can score the ball. He's got some toughness, and he's an unbelievable leader. And he's the extension of our coaching staff on the floor. And we couldn't be more excited for him. Plus, probably he's smarter than his head coach. He's a pre-med student, so he's definitely smarter than his head coach. So he's allowed to correct me, and he's allowed to. I'm giving him more free reign to kind of take a concept and move it to the next level, because he's probably more prepared than I am.
Yeah. Johns Hopkins kid, right? Started his career at Johns Hopkins.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Isn't there a lot of kids?
He's the. Yeah. Well. Yeah. And I mean, you look at our majors. It's neurobiology. It's managerial-economics. It's mechanical engineering, and so these guys are grinding. They're doing it in the classroom at a high level and competing, and then doing it on the basketball field. Like I say, why would you still do this in an environment? And I'm not happy with some of the things that are going on with college basketball, but the day-to-day of what I get to deal with and who I get to be around, that makes this special.
Not enough is said about the job you've done there at a top 10 public university in the country. UC Davis is a phenomenal institution. And I really admire the fact that you have, I believe now, the longest tenured coaching staff in college basketball. Kevin Nosek's your associate head coach, Kyle Vogt. You've got John Ometzko-Jones, been with you for a long time. I think you've just added a couple of coaches recently. How has this stability and helped you build this program at the level that you have at such an incredible academic institution?
Yeah, I couldn't be more blessed to have those guys around me. Not only from knowing exactly what we want done and knowing the system on the floor and being able to give them a ton of responsibility, but also understanding that they're buying into the culture. And we know the types of young men that we want in this program. Yes, they got to be high academic. Yes, they got to be good basketball players, but the high character quotient that we've made a staple in our program has, again, you say, well, how are you able to keep a staff together? And that's part and parcel to just the buy-in of this experience that happens here. And I think it's unique. And I think some of our guys that have been here and that have gone into the transfer portal and gone to other places, they've been shocked of maybe what's going on at other schools based on what they had here, and them being able to voice that and reaffirm what we're doing, I think just tells us that, hey, we're going about it the right way. I'm as competitive as they come, and I want to win. I want to compete. I want to be able to have a chance to win every night. I want to be able to have a chance to win championships, but that's all within the perspective of the type of program that we want to represent this university.
Jim, how nice is it to have your front court back, to have a couple guys on the front court that you know what to expect? Because, again, you look around the league and look around college basketball, that's about as rare as it gets. And to have Nico back for his fourth year, Isaiah back after playing, significant minutes a year ago, I think you have a leg up on a lot of other teams in this league.
Well, we're going to lean on all of our returners, and those guys in particular. Nico is he's the guys you guys, brings his lunch pail every day. He's going to do all the things that don't show up in a stat sheet and be willing to do those on a night in and night out basis, and now has expanded his game, where he's shooting the ball from the perimeter. Yeah, we know he's going to defend. He's going to block shots. He's a great vocal leader for us. So that's great. And Isaiah he's really worked in the offseason on his body. He's become more aggressive, more confident. And so those two guys definitely give a leg up. And then Niels Cooper is another, he played off the bench for us last year and kind of was a utility guy and just did whatever each night we needed of him. And now we're saying, you know what? We want you to score. We want you to be aggressive to score, in addition to being just a lockdown defender. And he's bought into that and is performing at a really high level here in practice that we're very excited about.
Hey, he better be a lockdown defender with his dad, right? Like, there's no choice.
I don't have to say too much on that end, right?
His dad takes care of that, doesn't he?
Well, and we talk about that sometimes. He's like, oh, so kind of what was it like playing against my dad? I'm telling you, hey, he made my life miserable, and I was probably the easiest guy he had to guard over the course of his career. But he definitely brings that mindset, and I know when he goes home, Michael's talking to him about the same things we're talking to about being a defensive presence for our basketball team.
Well, you talk about the depth you now have. I believe you've got 2 starters coming back, but I think you lost like 11 players to graduation, to transfer, whatever else. I mean, you talked about T.Y. Johnson. He was phenomenal. He's like 21 a game, career leader in free throws made and, single season steals record. He was terrific for you at the point guard spot. Do you feel like you've brought in, because like you said, you have been point guard you over there. You've had incredible point guards over the last decade. Do you feel like you got somebody that could fill in the shoes of T.Y., maybe not quite like T.Y., but somebody that can fill the shoes of the productivity from that position?
I think it's going to be more by committee. We talked about Braden and who he is. Marcus Wilson transferred in from Washington State. And, for the first time ever, I had a coach, Kyle Smith, because he recruited him to Washington State. When he left to Stanford, Marcus kept his commitment there. And as soon as he went in the portal, Kyle Smith called me. And that doesn't happen too often, where another coach calls and says, you know what? This is a guy, Coach, you got to look at. He fits what you do and how you do it, and he's got some explosiveness. He can score the ball. He's got some toughness. And so, we won't have one guy, I don't think, on our roster that makes up for T.Y.'s production, but I think we're going to have more depth, not only with the returners and their marked improvement from a year ago, but from some of the new guys that have some ability and talent and that are fitting really nicely into our system. We're going to make up for that 20 points with probably 2 or 3 guys.
Jim, let's close on this. We got about a minute or two. In the last 5 years, the league has gone from ranked 24th in KenPom to 14th in both KenPom and the net this past year. Why? What's been the biggest reason for that, in your opinion?
I think it's a number. I think it's the consistency, in particular in the coaching in the league, there is night off in this league in terms of the preparation and the time that's put in and how well coached these teams are, and they are going to exploit your weaknesses. They're going to find them and they're going to exploit them. So that makes that chess game all the more fun. I think. The other is all the universities in this league, basketball is a priority to them. So they're putting resources towards those. And then I think we've gotten better with the depth. You're only as strong as, the weaker end of your league. And I think, we've just gotten better with the strength of our league from top to bottom. And then, again, from the league office, when Dan took over, he said, listen, we've got to put basketball on a pedestal and get this thing going in the right direction, because the trickle down will be great for everybody. And so having a commissioner who's speaking that to our administrators, I think, was very helpful.
Well, listen, great seeing you again, Jim. You get younger and younger every day because your hair can't get any grayer. That's the good thing.
I don't feel it. Well, it's going to fall out pretty soon if we don't start defending better in practice. So,
hey, man, great seeing you. We'll talk to you soon. Can't wait to see what you do with this group this season.
Wait, I got a question for you. Do we change the name if the field gets bigger?
Did the Big Ten change its
or is
name?
that a whole new episode?
The Big Ten doesn't have 10 teams, does it?
Good point. I think they've set a trend. I'll let you
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm playing devil's advocate here. That's all.
All right. You guys take care.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it, man.
See you.
All right. There he is. Yep.